Ladies and gentlemen, Drake London active. Lamar Jackson trade rumors. We talked about this. We kind of talked about this before any news was breaking on it. Just the suggestion of Lamar falling out of favor in Baltimore. The fact that they're tired of his antics in some ways. It's been described that the Ravens are growing tired of his practice habits and the way he brings himself, I guess, to the table. In terms of preparation, there's a lot going on. Raiders, Vikings seem like the best marriage partners for a Lamar Jackson trade. So much to talk about in the offseason. And it doesn't matter what the Ravens say right now. It doesn't matter what their head coach says. Doesn't matter what his agent says. Oh, wait, his mom. Doesn't matter what the team says from the upper levels of the organization, the suits. What do they say? Doesn't matter. They could deflect or defer or whatever. The bottom line is what happens in this potential playoff run. They're trying to grab a playoff spot this week. The Ravens play the Pittsburgh Steelers. The winner goes to the playoffs. The loser goes home. Lamar said to be potentially available for this game. It seems 50-50 at this point. He wants to play. Now, how all this ends up will determine the trajectory of the offseason for Lamar. If they make the playoffs and go on a deep run, all this goes to bed. Oh, Lamar's the best. It all gets fixed. If they end up failing, if Lamar doesn't play in this Week 18 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, then that's even more of a reason that he could fall out of favor with them, not helping them at all. Jordan Love still needs to pass the protocol, but do they have anything to play for? Not really. So there's rumors that the Packers, and same thing with Josh Allen, should be ready to go, but according to Ian Rappaport, ready to go doesn't mean he plays. It means he's healthier this week than he was last week, is what Rappaport said from his own mouth. We'll talk about all that and more. Kickoff show, Puka Nacua walking out of the tunnel. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So just to make sure we're handling things in appropriate order, Drake London officially active for this Monday night game right now. So fire up your boy Drake London if you got him. Bijan hopefully has a day. Puka Nacua looks ready. How long do the Rams players play? Do they play the entire game? Keep in mind, there's one really important note here. A lot of people saying things like the Rams might not play their players long. It depends on the flow of the game. There's certainly sit guys in the middle of the third quarter if they're up 20, 30 points. But the real important factor here, just such an interesting, people that say things are rigged. It's funny when you see things like this. The Falcons are the projected 11 pick right now, and their pick is going to the Rams. If the Rams let the Falcons win, this pick that the Rams get from the Falcons is a worse pick. If the Rams beat the Falcons, they become even a worse team, and they climb up the into the top 10, and then the Rams get a top 10 pick. And so there's a lot going on here, a lot of moving parts. So I think we get a lot of production. My guesstimation here is that if for any reason Rams players sit a significant portion of this game, let's call it the entire fourth quarter, let's just say, it's because they're up by so many points, you're fine. You're not even worried about it. If it's a close game, nobody sits. That's kind of the way that I'm looking at it here. And if anybody has different takes, you can certainly drop them and we'll examine them. But that's the way we feel right now. Josh Allen, injured foot, had imaging testing on it. And reportedly, according to Rappaport, is in a better situation than he was last week at this time. So he's getting better and should be fully ready to play. But Rappaport then said, Bijan interviewing, getting ready for the game. Bijan, go do it live, my boy.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
That's for anybody doubting Bijan tonight. Anybody throwing bad vibes.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
But according to Rappaport, what he said about Josh Allen was that just because he's ready to go doesn't mean he'll play. Buffalo Bills, very little to play for other than some slight seeding potential. There's not worth the risk potentially getting any of their starters hurt. So they may not play a lot. We don't really know. It's kind of up in the air. They could play more than we think. They could play less than we think. We just know that nobody should be playing fantasy football week 18 anyway. That's ridiculous. But Josh Allen and Jordan Love may not help you in week 18 if you play it. You shouldn't. So as far as the Lamar Jackson conversation, Lamar Jackson, again, Pittsburgh, we have a few things mapped up on this board. Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Whoever wins this game goes to the playoffs. New England clinches the division, so don't expect to see much of those guys. Tampa Bay versus Carolina for the division and making the playoffs. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still in the mix. Seattle, that one's already out. So they were watching that game, obviously, last night as the Niners locked up the number 1 seed and have home field advantage all the way through to the Super Bowl. If they make it that far, if their defense will allow it. Their defense has given up everything. They just can't stop anything. Same thing with the Bears. That's why this offensive mastermind that we saw on Monday night last night was remarkably fun, but it was bad defensive performances that allowed it. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, back to that conversation, just real quickly to say that if Lamar does come back, helps his team win, enter into the playoffs, win multiple playoff games, you can bet your bottom dollar that Lamar Jackson is going to be a part of the future plans of the Baltimore Ravens. However, if Lamar doesn't play this game and they lose, or plays this game and they lose, or plays in this game, they win, or doesn't play in this game and they win, but then has a bad week, wild card week exit, then you certainly are going to have conversation about whether they should move on from Lamar Jackson. They're tired of him in some ways. So there is some truth to this. And all it takes is an offer that the Ravens can't refuse. And if the Ravens feel like with Derrick Henry getting older and everybody can say, oh, he's going to do it again next year. I mean, he didn't do it all year until the end of the year here. And so it's hard to trust a player in this situation at Henry's age, with his mileage, with his inconsistent play all year. This team knows that it's really teeter-tottering on that reset at least, or rebuild. So Lamar is certainly susceptible to being traded. Where do we want Lamar getting traded to? If it does end up happening, and nothing's a lock, obviously the team would have to bring the right offer to the table. There's no Lamar Jackson gets traded or doesn't get traded. Anybody that says Lamar Jackson is not getting traded, they're just wishful thinking. Those are goggles this thick. Anybody saying Lamar Jackson will get traded, those are goggles or agendas this thick. There's no answer. The problem is there's no answer. If you think he's not getting traded, like, no offense, this one right here, no offense to this comment right here, Lamar isn't going nowhere. You're probably a Ravens fan, or you're not thinking clearly about it, which is fine if you're blinded by something. We get it. But nobody should be taking a hardline stance, because so much of the puzzle pieces are still on the table right now. We don't know how these things will fit together, not fit together, fall apart, get lost, not have any way to connect again. There's so much going on with this Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, with the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. So no one has any answers. Don't listen to any single person that tells you that Lamar will get traded or won't get traded. I don't care if it's Schefter, Rappaport. I don't care if it's Harbaugh. I don't care who it is. You can't accept that that's the reality, because the reality hasn't even been presented to you yet. The options, the dilemmas, the situations, the offers, all of the potential unraveling of this relationship between Lamar and team. So much of it is still to be determined. So don't listen to a single person, because they're talking out their rear end, that has a hardline stance on Lamar gets traded or doesn't get traded, because that story is still to be told. Very excited about the offseason, as you can tell. I'm ramped up. 2026 starts now. I also created the first video. I was going to go live today and drop videos. I decided to wait till this game was over and hit it really hard Tuesday, because then the fantasy football season's officially over. As soon as this game ends tonight, it is a 100% 2026 full go. Every piece of content that comes out is 2026 geared and playoff geared. If anybody plays week 18, you should be ashamed of yourself right now, by the way. And you should ask for the meatloaf to be returned, because it got served cold to you. You shouldn't be playing week 18. It's the most ridiculous thing in the whole world to be playing week 18. If you have week 18 questions, I'll certainly help you via phone call, via super chat, something. I'm not going to ignore you. and not help you, but no one should be playing week 18. But what we're going to say here is 2026 starts right after this game. And I've got video number 1 ready for the main channel. The main channel, we're going to have a Dynasty stream tonight. Might even be on the same topic. I'm not sure. But this video drops on the main channel tomorrow morning at about 4 a.m. Pacific time and 7 a.m. Eastern. And we're going to start dropping videos like clockwork on the channel. Running back show. The running back show will begin tomorrow morning. The quarterback show begins tomorrow morning. The wide receiver show, the tight end show begins tomorrow morning. These are series of shows that do one player breakdowns on the main channel. The Dynasty channel will be very similar, and it all begins tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern when the Chase Brown 2026 video drops. And then we just start knocking one off after the other. One player videos in these series, running back, quarterback, tight end, and wide receiver show series. You just get one player. Boom, boom, boom. All off season long. All off season long. Someone says ban him. Ban who? Ban who? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Who needs to be banned? What user needs to be banned? What is he saying? Do any of my mods know? All right, let me hit the super chat that's sitting here. Kickoff will be here shortly. Who is acting up? Tell me and I'll look at it. London or Quorum? London. But Quorum is kind of safe. Ban him. Oh, no, we're not banning somebody that says that Lamar can't be traded. But is he saying something wild or out of pocket? I made history last night becoming the first back-to-back champion in my league. Thank you, Smitty. The best channel, hands down. I got my eyes on the Dynasty meatloaf for everybody. Let's go. Thank you for the $10 hauler back foot. Appreciate you and congrats on your win, bro. Are you covering playoff fantasy? Of course. What do I look like, an a-hole? Of course we're doing playoff fantasy. We're doing underdog drafts during the midnight shows. We'll be drafting the mittens and taking care of business that way. Of course we will. Chat's goofing around. Okay, Blackbeard. Blackbeard's on it. If anybody needs to be kicked out that's dropping craziness, Blackbeard will let me know about it. Okay, I don't know if the phone lines are actually working right now. Phone lines are open. Dial in. Denny called at 4 o'clock my time. It is 6:15. Called a while ago. Denny, if you're out there, dial in. Phone lines are open. Don't forget, this Chase Brown video drops at 7 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. my time. So make sure you're on top of that. Get ready to rumble. We're kicking 2026 off, and it starts tomorrow morning.
Live from the Fantasy
show. Call into the show.
I don't know if my phone line is properly working, but we will see. So dial in. Studio's almost completely fixed and back together. I tore down that entire wall behind me. It was bare bones. Surprisingly, you probably look at the backdrop right now, and you're probably saying, and again, this video drops, this Chase Brown video drops tomorrow morning. You're probably saying to yourself, it looks exactly the same. Because I wanted this backdrop to be the same. I didn't want to change this backdrop. It actually looks a little cleaner and a little tighter. But it was, and there was a little bit more messiness going on. It's very clean lines. Everything's straight. Everything's perfect. But I took the entire wall down because I had to in order to fix things up. But the backdrop is there. The glass marker board is gone. That above is not marker board. That is foam and soundproof. So here's the other angle.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
So really, really, really enjoy the new look. More storage, more room for activities. I got to sand that wall there. You can see that patchwork there above the hats. I got to sand that bad boy. And then we got a little bit, one or two more pieces of lighting, and then we're back to normal. Everything's good to go. And then I don't think I want to change anything for a while because I really am happy with the studio. Appreciate every single one of you being in the building. It looks like there's a fumble here at the beginning of this. Nope, they overturned it. Okay, Bijan in the backfield. Drake London's on the field, ladies and gentlemen. Kirk Cousins under center. Blue 32, man in motion. Let's hand this ball off to Bijan. Cousins says, what? In motion. In motion again. Handoff. Bijan grabs the ball, takes it about 2 or 3 yards up the gut, hesitates, gets wrapped up, has nowhere to run. Let's hope Bijan has a day. Let's hope Bijan has a day.
Let him cook.
Let's go, Bijan. Blue 32, Bijan. Cousins in the shotgun. Handoff to Bijan. Bijan to the left side. Slips a tackle or two. Gets about 3-4 yards. Something like that. Third down. Kyle Pitts to the right. Bijan lines up as a wide receiver. Split out. Nope. Is he? Nope. Never mind. Cousins in the gun. Bijan off to his right. Bijan's laying in the flat. Says, throw to me. What a horrible throw by Kirk Cousins. To Drake London. Oh, Drake London looked a little bit gimpy there. Oh, no. He might just be walking funny, but Drake London looked like he got his knee got I don't think he's hurt, but did anybody see that when he got up? He went and he started walking down the sideline. He'll probably be okay, but damn, Drake London. So disappointing. Falcons punting the ball. We'll watch this first drive for the Rams, then we might call it, and I'll be back for the wrap-up show of this game and to start talking 2026. Tonight's topic will be, we didn't get to too much of it last night, so we're going to redo it tonight. Rams down the sideline. What a return to the 42-yard line. We didn't get much of that topic going last night, but they're going to be 2026 avoids and 2026 players to go get. So we'll talk about that. Tonight. We need a new case for Lucille. Lucille's up above. Can you guys see Lucille? I think you can. No, you can't. Can you? I smell meatloaf. Hey, Ma, the meatloaf. I have Lucille right here. She's got her own case. She's got her own holding. I got her on display right up above my head, but you can't see her. Rams at the 5-yard line, 5.5-yard line. Handoff to Kyren Williams. He gets about 2 or 3, 4 yards. I love Kyren Williams. Rockout says down 127.18 to 102.8. I have Stafford and Puka. My opponent has Pitts. I think you'll be pretty good. I'd rather be you, Rockout. Congrats, my boy. That's a nice position to be in. Burden call was money. Down 7 in this championship game. Have Kyren going against Pitts. Yeah, there was some, just a preface, there were a lot of people we said start Burden, and a lot of people we said start player or whatever. So it just depends. I feel like all the Burden questions were all over the map. Some of you started Burden smartly and when we said to, and others of you had tougher decisions and maybe we didn't. So whether you got that, it sounds like this is one of the Burden calls that we said to go with. But I have Kyren going up against Pitts. In my other championship, I'm down 18, and I have Bijan and Kyren. Nice. He's got nothing. I like your odds. Thank you, H13. And I thank you for all the super chats over the season. You've definitely been a staple here. And I just want to say thank you for dropping the super chats as much as you've dropped them this year. It always helps keep the show going, and you're a big reason why. So thank you, H13. You've been a huge help. And I hope you don't go anywhere, and I hope you're here all off season. And I can't wait for you to get to work on 2026 once tonight is over. I started this season out so strong, lost Connor, Kraft, Buka, London, Adams. Also had Bijan and Josh Allen. Was headed for the ship. Maybe next year. Daniel, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. We got you. 2026 starts right now. You said you're ready. Man, I'm ready for 26. Well, guess what, bro? The Chase Brown video at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific time in the morning is the beginning. Just the beginning. Not to mention tonight's recap of this game. And then just when we dig into 2026 immediately in that live stream tonight. So we'll be doing a lot of 2026 talk tonight. So next year, not maybe next year. Next year we're doing it, Daniel. We're getting you a championship. 2026 is going to be about diversification across fantasy football portfolios. But on top of diversification, we're also going to have a mantra of building a responsible yet amazing amount of depth that's different feeling than previous years. Depth in ways that if we lose like a London, we're not even sweating because we've got the right players in place. We're going to work on how to build the proper depth and have the right players. Sometimes that comes at a cost, though, where you can't always, it's going to be a punt here, you can't always grab all of these backup running backs and roster them initially, but more so we'll have the cuff board and different things that will allow you to know when to go after these players in the middle of the year. I think too much planning of grabbing all these, home run hitting handcuffs on one roster before there's any pecking order, and then they've got to climb up the ranks, and then by the time you're even considering using them, you're already out of it, or we're going to work on depth and diversification across fantasy football portfolio as two key mantras of this channel for 2026. So get ready. Guys, appreciate you. Daniel, appreciate you. Sorry you didn't win this year. We're gonna remedy that in 2026, my guy. Lamar Jackson, does he get traded? We'll talk more about that all off season, but maybe even tonight. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry it's a short show, but the game's on. We'll be back to do a recap show. Appreciate every one of you, and good luck if you have any players playing tonight. See you after the game. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, H13 again. Appreciate you. Rock out. Appreciate your super chat. Backfoot. Appreciate you. Hit that thumb up button on the way out the door, please. Hit that subscribe button on the way out the door. Thank you, Caps. Thank you, See Me Value. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, Blackbeard. Thank you, Space Ricky, Sick Nasty, Travis, DeBolt, See Me Valley, Doobie, whoever's out there. Thank you, Blackbeard. Appreciate you back. BBQ dropping 20 gifted memberships. BBQ dropping 20 gifted memberships.
Let him cook.
Using my Bamf hammer, it's the best medicine ball, or not medicine ball. It's like a mix of a medicine ball and a kettlebell, but in hammer form, and it allows you to work those abs. Bamf hammer. Use code Smitty, BAMF hammer.com or on Instagram. Code Smitty gets you a 10% off on that. And BBQ, thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. If you guys got a gifted membership from BBQ, please thank him right now. Even if you didn't, he's trying to give you one. You could thank him anyway. Bijan gets a carry, cuts back up the gut, 2, 3, 4 yards, something like that. I was wrong about Burrow getting 5 TDs. Swapped jerseys with Drake May. or Brock Purdy, right? Thank you, BBQ. I forgot about that one. BBQ said he'd drop 20 gifted memberships if Burrow did not have 5 touchdowns. Thank you, BBQ. Appreciate you. You know what, BBQ, you need to be on this video here. For all that you've done. All the super chats, you need to be on the Let 'Em Cook video. So let me put BBQ on here while we're here. Every time we play Let 'Em Cook, BBQ's name will be blasted across the multiverse. There we go, BBQ. There you go. I'm going to put him right here. Thank you, BBQ. Guys, get ready. 2026 is going to be so good. If you can't tell from my enthusiasm about it, we're going to attack 2026 like no other channel you could possibly imagine. So much content. And last year, we didn't do any uploads, really. It was all live streams. Nothing changes with the live streams. You get videos in the morning, 7 a.m. It all starts tomorrow. Deuce!